been a rough couple of weeks.
Hell yeah.
For the Grizzlies. Not just on the place on the court stuff, losing 8 of 9 after an 11-game winning streak, but there has been a lot of drama on the court and off. Specifically, Dylan Brooks and Donovan Mitchell having their issue, which Dylan's already served his suspension. We don't have to even talk about that specifically, but as a larger part of the problem, now we get word yesterday that the NBA has been investigating an issue with Ja Morant and some of his crew that we see very often at games on the baseline, or on the front row at the games. An issue against the Indiana Pacers in the loading dock underneath the FedEx Forum. Just a whole lot of really negative stuff floating around this team right now. Talk about that a little bit.
Now, when I first saw this, I think a lot of people brought this point up, and I think it's a fair point. Some people are mistaking Ja Morant's friends with Ja Morant. And they didn't corroborate there was a gun there, but there was a run-in.
Right.
I don't necessarily think we should make that link immediately, but I think there's something to be said about the company you keep. One time, my O-line coach, Vance Weiss, my first O-line coach at the University of Memphis, he didn't say this exactly, but it was to the point of, you smell a fart once, you're a fart smeller. And that's what this becomes, right? If you surround yourself with guys that are getting into altercations, if you get into these altercations and you talk and you yap and you have all these things going back and forth, that's who you are. That's what your public perception is going to be. Yep. And Ja Morant's on the precipice of a long, great career in superstardom. He's got his own shoe. He's bigger than life right now. Why not have this conversation with the company you keep and say, guys, maybe it's time to relax. Maybe it's time to sit down, enjoy yourself, and not take this thing so seriously.
Yeah. See, my biggest thought on this when I see it, I completely agree. As soon as Kenny sent this as part of the Hot 3, that's the first thing that came to my mind. But we see this so often with high-level athletes. And I guess I get it to an extent, but at the same time I don't. It's I don't know what these people do or anything like that. Obviously I don't know what his friends do, and I don't want to bash them or anything, and I'm not saying this is the case, but it's one of those situations we've seen quite often where it's your friend gets famous and then you start to feel invincible, right? You think it's you.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's not. I think you have to respect someone's image that's in the public image. You know, his friend, his friends aren't. And I respect Ja for keeping his friends and staying true to his people and stuff like that, and not turning his back and stuff like that. But your friends got to understand, man, he's at the top, and I've just got to support him and help him with his image as much as I can, not make it worse.
What bothered me to a certain extent, and I get Ja protecting his people.
Absolutely.
But Ja goes on to Twitter and he says, they did an investigation, seen they were capping, still let an article come out to paint this negative image on me and my fam, and ban my brother from home games for a year. Unbelievable. At some point, stop digging your heels in. Make yourself available to press. Explain yourself if you need to do that. But the Twitter talking at that point, it's over. There's already the Athletic report published.
Just back away from it. Keep your hands clean.
Back away from it, or just own that. Okay, something happened.
That's what I'm saying.
And we're trying to move past it. I'm having conversations behind closed doors with those that I love about keeping this from happening ever again.
Yeah, don't make it bigger than it already is.
Don't lean into it and dig your heels in that I am the victim in this situation. Because that will paint you as a certain way to the outside public, to the press, to everybody else. And he's young. He's 23 years old. Yeah. And I get you have a fair amount of pride at that point, especially when you've accomplished what he's accomplished. But sometimes it's good to step back for a moment and realize that your reputation and the image that you're putting out means something.
Yeah.
It really does. And those around you may not be upholding it as much as you want them to.
Yeah, because if that goes too sideways, we've seen people get dropped from shoe deals.
Yeah.
I.e. Kyrie Irving.
100%.
So
100%.
You gotta.
And that wasn't even Kyrie's people. That was Kyrie. That was Kyrie.
Oh yeah, that was straight Kyrie.
I mean, he talked trash about Nike and then put out the anti-Semitic stuff. It's all right.
He's out.
All right, brother. And that's why Ja has a shoe deal now.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It all comes full circle.
It does, doesn't it?
I guess that wraps our hot three, huh, Kenny?